You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans. Today, let's dive into exactly why hottie bartender Hollis Hollister was killed. And really, no matter who you think actually did the deed, did the killing itself, all roads with this double murder mystery lead back to just one person. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about motive, means, and opportunity in the dual deaths of Hollis and Tom Starr. Let's begin with the motive. And the motive, I believe, is exactly the same for killing Hollis as it was for killing Tom. And it all leads back to one person, Poppy Nozawa. She is the common factor. Her and her daughter, Luna Nozawa, are the underlying cause of these two homicides, but Luna is completely in the dark. Poppy, not so much. Somebody killed both these men to keep a secret that is seemingly tied to Luna's true paternity. Now, it comes down to Tom Starr insisting he is Luna's daddy. And honestly, I believe him. This is a soap opera, so paternity tests can never, ever be trusted. And we keep getting all these little breadcrumbs about a coming flip where Bill Spencer and Luna find out they're not father and daughter. They talk all the time about how this is time that they're getting back, how they'll always be together, nobody will ever split them apart again, just things like that. And yes, I know Lee Finnegan ran the DNA test, but I feel like Lee did it to ensure that the results would not be doubted. But I personally 100% doubt them anyway, because B&B created a type of paternity test that does not exist on the market in the real world, then they can certainly invent a way to cheat that test. But exactly how did Hunky Hollis get wrapped up in all of this and wind up on the coroner's slab? Also, just a side note, Lee Finnegan would not be down there working in the morgue. That's what a pathologist is for. It's a very specialized field of study. They just don't have rando doctors down there doing autopsies and postmortems. They just don't. Bottom line, and I understand real versus real, R-E-A-L versus R-E-E-L, but still, come on. Anyway, Hollis was unlucky enough to find Tom's backpack and some incriminating information inside of it. It looked like what had Hollis so wound up was a packet of letters. I'm guessing those might be love letters from Poppy to Tom that she wrote him, 20-ish years ago. Letters where she discussed their daughter Luna. Some people are even wondering if Tom might have had a copy of Luna's original birth certificate listing him as the father. For my eyeballs, though, I only saw what looked like letters, but that doesn't mean there's not more in that packet of papers. But with Tom insisting he is Luna's dad, and then something from Tom's backpack that only Hollis saw, and then both men dying, it's not hard to follow the dotted line back to Poppy. Just before Tom went on stage, remember, he told Poppy he wants to talk to their daughter, meet her, all that. She went berserk. And then we saw, not long after that, the gloved hands and the powder going into Tom's blue drink. Then a couple of days later, we have Hollis trying to talk to Sheila Carter about what he found in Tom's backpack, and she couldn't be bothered to listen. Now, that could have been a ruse on Sheila's part to cover up her interest in what he found. I doubt it. I simply think that Sheila just didn't have time to talk to him right that second. If she were the killer, she probably would have stopped to listen to see what loose ends she might have to tie up depending on what Hollis said. So yeah, while Steffi Forrester is certain Sheila did this, I think she is 1,000% wrong. Hollis died, I expect, because he found proof of Poppy's big secret. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying Poppy herself killed him. I suspect someone killed Hollis to further Poppy's best interest. I'm not even certain that Poppy asked somebody to get rid of her two problems, Tom and Hollis. Maybe she did, or maybe they did it without her even having to ask to. We just heard Jack Finnegan telling his son Finn he would do anything for Poppy. Anything is a pretty strong word to apply to favors done in the future for your past ex-sister-in-law. Why so dramatic? Why so insistent? Unless, of course, Jack and Poppy are keeping a big secret. A secret that Lee Finnegan may already know as well about Luna's paternity. Poor Hollis, in the end, he never stood a chance. He died at the hand of someone he knew, or at least knew enough to recognize. It didn't need to be somebody he knew well, like Sheila or Deacon or Brooke, somebody like that. It could be Poppy, who Hollis has seen at Il Giardino many, many times. It could be Jack, who he might recognize as being there for the live music night. And when they brought Jack in, based on the conversation, it sounded like that Jack comes there now and then. Lee has never been there before, so all very strange. And Hollis would know if it was Bill Spencer showing up. Maybe he might even know Justin as Bill's right hand. He would probably know Lee Finnegan because he knows Finn is Finn is Lee's son, and he picks up pizza there regularly. So this is not someone who's a stranger to either the audience or to Hollis either. And we also saw Hollis drinking out of his own little special bottle of some kind of sports drink. So it was like a white bottle with lettering on it. It wasn't like a cup with blue stuff like Tom's. So maybe that person came in to pick up some to-go food, and when Hollis went to the kitchen, they dosed his drink and then walked out. And then Hollis died later once the perpetrator was well out of the pizza place. I mean, really, I don't think they've got much evidence to tie back to Sheila other than opportunity, but no motive. What possible motive could Sheila have to kill Hollis? I mean, Tom is a stretch because the two had in Sheila land what would be considered a minor disagreement in the day or so before he was killed. But Hollis, he liked Sheila, she liked him. He is one of those few people who are friends of Sheila and Deacon as a couple and approve of their relationship. He was there for their wedding. There's just no motive there. I'm quite certain Sheila is probably going to be arrested, though. She is hauled out of her home on a flimsy excuse by Deputy Chief Baker this week, and she's taken downtown for questioning. I'm sure Sheila is going to insist that she's innocent, but with Lee and Steffi both hassling the cop to haul her in, it seems like it's definitely going to happen. The big question, of course, is who done it. It seems pretty clear on the why they done it, just not the who. I'm not inclined to believe that Hippy Dippy Poppy did any murdering. I do think she's a gold digger who might have blackmailed her big sister into helping her run a paternity scam on Dollar Bill. But I tend to think Poppy would be crafty enough to use other people to do her dirty work. And I don't think the culprit is going to be somebody who's on contract. I mean, why would Bold waste a contract character when they've got people on, occasional episode recurring to use as the scapegoat? And that's why I'm back to Jack Finnegan as the killer. Some evidence goes missing this week, and it looks like that's what predicates Baker into taking Sheila downtown. So we'll just have to wait and see. It could always be somebody random that we've never met if B&B is really going to weird places, but I just doubt that. Hollis was killed, I feel pretty certain, to protect the Luna daddy secret. And now we just have to figure out who would kill on Poppy's behalf and how, if she is involved, that she got them to do the killing. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.